Hi folks, doing some recording because my voice is kind of back. Well, it's getting back to normal. Anyway, love you all. Hope you're having a brilliant start to your week. I hope you had a really good weekend too. Let's get on with some hobby nightmares, shall we? Before we go anywhere else or do anything else. This is actually a hobby nightmare that comes just from me. And it is not something that happened to me. It is something that I have said before on the channel. I think I've talked about it once or twice. And it is this one is an urban legend. I need to get that one out. I need to get that out there because this is a story I was told several times whilst working the Games Workshop over drinks with other managers. Alright? In fact, my own manager regaled me with this tale before anyone else did. So this is the guy who didn't really like to talk about the hobby or anything like that. Even he thought this was like an amazing story that needed retelling. What makes me think that there is some truth to this story is the fact that I heard the tale several times, and each telling was almost exactly the same from different old-timer Games Workshop managers in separate areas across the UK. We'd meet for drinks, we'd meet for retail workshops, and nearly every once in a while you'd get one of the old-timers telling this story to either me or another newbie who'd come along. Fun fact, in my first retail workshop as a newbie, as a baby GW manager, I was told this story about 5-6 times because, older managers just thought, hey, time to give him some pointers on what not to do when you're a Games Workshop manager. So take what you will. Take it with a pinch of salt or no. I may have told this story before in a stream or even in another video, but I thought it would be good to just get it down on record so you guys can point to people to it if we ever bring it up in brief in a stream. So if I ever bring it up and I don't want to discuss it, you guys can point to this video and say, hey, it's in this video, go and have a look at it, right? And it saves me from telling the whole thing over again, right? So, anyways, here we go. This is a story about Brad the Legend. Now, when I say legend, I mean he is in a legend about him. I'm not saying he is a legend because of his behaviour, alright? Big pointer there. It is an urban legend that has gone around Games Workshop. So, Brad was a Games Workshop manager in around 2004 to 2005, that time period. He ran a successful store and was by all accounts a stand-up guy. Now that 2004 to 2005 is when the story occurred. He'd been a manager for a long time before this. He ran weekly events including a massive Warhammer Fantasy Battles campaign with a full world map of his local area. He was on a coast in the UK, painted in the old world fashion, complete with "Here be dragons" notations and all that, on all sorts of things like that. On this map, they ran campaigns, awesome stuff. On a Thursday night, he would run a Blood Bowl league where all the older guys would come into the store, and the store would shut later around 10 PM, and kids were not allowed in the store past 6 PM on a Thursday. They were even permitted beer on the premises. How cool is that? Now, I don't think they were strictly allowed it, but I think he got away with it because, old-timers get away with a lot at Games Workshop that us youngsters don't tend to do. A lot of the guys coming in brought their other halves along, and after a while of having these women standing around looking bored and checking their watches or reading magazines, finally, Brad snapped, right? Because it's really distracting to have your wife sitting there while you're trying to do things. He politely asked the girls if they wanted to go upstairs and use his place as a rec room of sorts to have coffee and gab whilst the lads played their game downstairs with him. Now, Brad obviously lived upstairs, above his store. Most of them, of course, agreed. He handed over his keys and off they went, and for around 6 months, this would become a regular occurrence in the store. The lads would come in and have their fun, the girls would go upstairs and play board games and have a cup of tea. Problems only started to surface when sometimes Brad would also go upstairs, claiming to be tired of the Blood Bowl and needing a break. This is a big no-no at Games Workshop. You never, ever leave your storefront completely unattended. Not so much for the theft risks, as people might think, but because of liability. Each person in the store is your responsibility. If something happens to them and you are not there, the company is in big trouble. Still, nothing is really noted at this point. And this story is not going where you think it is. Alright? Well, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. One Thursday, upstairs, one of the regular girls has gone a little quiet and eventually starts crying. The other girls comfort her and ask her what is wrong. She says that she has been cheating on her boyfriend downstairs with Brad and that she thinks she is in love with him and knows not what to do. Shock horror, right? Incredible stuff. Well, hold on. One of the other girls comforting her goes white and backs off, asking if they are talking about the same Brad, to which the first girl says, yes we are. The second girl says that she is also sleeping with Brad, but it is kind of a, a screw buddy kind of a thing, as her boyfriend and her split up ages ago, and she still comes to the store. Oh no. Then, a third girl in the group leaves for the toilet and starts hyperventilating. The girls ask her if she is okay, and she says she is basically in the same situation as girl number 1. She is sleeping with Brad and kind of really into him. Needless to say, the girls come downstairs in a united front and a very awkward situation occurs that ends with Brad being chased out of his own store by 2 rather disgruntled gentlemen who immediately call off their respective relationships. Yeah. Fucking disaster zone. Brad returns to the store later and explains he has to lock up, but will talk to them all after, which he does. They all tell him they are filing complaints against him and his actions, his complete disregard for his position of power over people, and his abuse of their trust. This last bit is the bit that changes in the telling. Some people told me that he was sacked for bringing the company name into disrepute. Others tell me he was given another store out of trouble as he was a veteran. Regardless, that's the end of how this story goes. Now, I'm fully aware that this is a touchy subject, and I'm fully aware we have had a similar story on the channel before. And I think it was about a hobbyist, if I remember correctly. And I think I even called him Brad after this Games Workshop manager. But I wanted to tell you the original story of how that story that came in reminded me of. It reminded me of this story in its telling. I normally take some of this with a pinch of salt, because a lot of the guys who would tell me this story, they would kind of like nudge me like, hey, what a Chad Brad is, you know what I mean? Without noting like how reprehensible his behaviour is here. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not some white knight who's going to come riding in and say that women's rights and, you know, should do this, should do that. The women are just as much in the wrong here. Apart from the one who's single, she can do whatever she wants, yeah, that's fine. But the other 2 who are in relationships, the first and third girl, yeah, they need to go fuck off, right? No sympathy for them. Absolutely none whatsoever. The only thing I have sympathy for is the guys downstairs who have come into this guy's sphere, into his circle, to play the hobby that they love, and they've had their trust shit on, basically. They've had it torn up. And you know what? Most of these guys really think they want to go and be in Warhammer anymore. No. This guy's sabotaging the entire hobby with his shithouse behaviour. You know? Should he be sleeping with different women at the same time? I personally think not. I will tell you this now, guys. If you are honest with women, you will be surprised how much you can get away with. You will be surprised. If you date several women at once, or two or three women at once, and you tell them each about each other, not in detail, but say, hey, I'm dating somebody else at the moment, but like we're only like going on dates. I would love to take you out, blah, blah, blah. Most of them will go along with that shit because you're being honest. You're being upfront, right? In today's age, a lot of women will start to think, well, if what he's saying is probably only half the truth. He's trying to get in my pants. So how bad is it really? Is he married to this woman? You know what I mean? So you might get that these days. But back in the day, and to what, most of the time even now, if the woman's like, I got an even keel, and you say, yeah, you know, I'm dating, but like I'm not like with anybody. As long as you're honest and open, the fact that you don't want to be with anybody, you just want to go out on dates with them and have sex with them. You know what? Some women will leave, some women will stay. But at least you're being honest, right? That's what Brad should have done here. And if Brad had have done that here, there was one girl upstairs who was single, who he could have been with and could have gone on dates with, and maybe it didn't work out, maybe it did work out. We don't know. But what Brad decided to do was have no dick discipline. Dick discipline is a thing, guys. Is a thing. Your value as a man goes down if you don't have dick discipline. You need to know when to keep it in your pants. You're the prize. Make sure that you know it, right? You don't just give it away. Just, you know, Make her earn it. Go out with her. See what's in her brain first, right? Because you get into situations like this where I think, if I'm being honest, me knowing Games Workshop, if I did this at Games Workshop, even if I was a 5 to 10 year veteran, if I did this, I would be sacked. I would be sacked. My feet would not touch the floor. I'd be gone. So I firmly believe Brad was sacked, and him getting another store is the managers at Games Workshop believing he's a Chad and he shouldn't have been punished, projecting their own little thing onto the end of it there. But for all I know, the entire thing could be bullshit. But I was told the same story by several different people who didn't know each other, and it was exactly the same as this. It was the same story. Apart from, at the end, a few of them were saying that he got another store. Loads of them were saying he was sacked. I believe he was sacked. What do you think about his behaviour, though? Who do you think's in the wrong here? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like what I do have a Patreon down below too, if you want to go and say hi. I do have a Discord too, down below. The Discord is free. I say this a lot. Discord is free. Please come and say hello to us. And you don't need to be on the Patreon for that. And we will be doing another prize draw this month, but I'll get into that in our next video. Love you a long time. Have a wonderful week. Well, not week. I'll be seeing you probably tomorrow, because tomorrow is Tuesday. And I might feel like doing a video or a live stream. We will see. Love you all long time. See you later. Have a good one.